This week I travelled to Brighton, one of the best places to go thrifting in the UK. I went to as many charity shops as I physically could in Brighton, so get ready because there are a whole lot of charity shops to come in this episode. And we started our adventure to Brighton in this Red Cross charity shop and over by the T-shirts, which were rather dead. The only interesting thing was a nice T-shirt, and not as in it was nice, it was the brand nice. And yes, before anyone comments, I know it's pronounced nice, but it's just funny you're calling it nice. But apart from that, it was pretty boring, so I headed out of there and headed over to the Oxfam charity shop, which was absolutely massive. And to start off this charity shop, I found a Nike track jacket. It was the one at the front. It was really nice, to be fair, but then I started going through the jackets. I thought I'd found a work jacket in that red jacket because it was rather thick and kind of was the same material, but unfortunately it wasn't. But then had a extremely quick flick through the T-shirts, and I didn't even have to look at them all to determine that they were all just blanks. And then I found a Tottenham bag. I feel like in pretty much every thrifting episode recently, I have found some form of Tottenham bag in at least one charity shop. But I then started going through the jeans. There was nothing too eventful in the jeans, but there was almost something really eventful in this little T-shirt jumper rack, because I thought I'd found a Comme des Garçons T-shirt, but no, it was a Guinness Love Heart T-shirt. I was actually so gutted. But on that note, I headed out of this charity shop and I headed down to this British Heart Foundation charity shop, which was really sick. We start off with our first banger from this charity shop, which was this grey tag Nike T-shirt. It was rather strange though. The Nike graphic looked intentionally cracked. The ribbon that it had around the collar kind of continued all the way around the edges of the sleeves and the bottom of the T-shirt, and it just felt really weird. It was really like coarse material. It wasn't really very nice either. There were so many other graphic T-shirts in this shop, none really to shout about. The only one that I thought was kind of weird was this stand back I'm gonna try science one. I don't really know when that would be a really relevant statement, but I thought it was interesting. But then I headed over to where all the jumpers and that were, and there was this Levi's jumper which was at the back. Looking at it now, you see how quickly I skim over it. To be honest, I don't actually think I noticed it when I was there. But I headed round to the other side where there were more jumpers, and there was this Adidas jacket which was pretty boring. It only really had the stripes down the arm. But I headed over to where all the coats and everything like that was, and there was a Barber jacket over there. I think it was £35 though, so it weren't really going to be worth me picking it up massively. They also had a really nice Fred Perry jacket in here, but it was £20, so it really weren't going to be worth it. But I then headed to our next charity shop, which was this Mind charity shop. And the first thing that I come across was this Under Armour hoodie, which I show you really poorly, but it looked exactly like this one, but the badge on the front was embroidered. It was one of like the older style ones. It was really nice, but it was about £8 and it was heavily worn. But I then found a Levi's overshirt. It was a really nice blue, as you can see, but I think it was like an extra large, so it weren't going to be worth me picking it up. Then I had a quick flick through the T-shirts. There was nothing really too extraordinary apart from this Top Gear one, which I thought was quite interesting, and as well I thought this Minecraft one was quite funny. But I ended up heading out of there and I stumbled across a market. Thought this market was really cool. It was really busy for a Friday afternoon as well. I wish I would have come here on Saturday. I bet it would have been absolutely packed. But at the back of this market, I found this little vintage shop. It was really nice, like aesthetically, in this vintage shop, and as well they just had a really decent selection of stuff. They had loads of Carhartt jackets in here as well, but they were rather expensive. Like that first one I come across was £90. I would have had a look through the rest of them, but there was a massive dog in the way and I weren't really trying to get too close to it. But I kept walking on down the high street and I got really gassed for a second because I thought I found another British Heart Foundation charity shop, but no, it was a furniture one. But I did then actually find a charity shop, and it was this PDSA charity shop, and in here it was really big. I think this is only the second PDSA charity shop I've ever been in. I think the only other one that I can remember is in Maidstone. But I had a little flick through all the T-shirts and all the shirts, and there was nothing really too astounding. They were all just blanks. But I then did find these ski goggles, which I thought were pretty cool. The first pair were broken, unfortunately. The second pair I was kind of tempted to pick up because the orange headband was really cool, and as well I thought the orange lenses were quite sick. But I thought, when would I ever actually wear ski goggles? And the answer I thought to that would be never. But they might have been worth buying for Depop maybe like 2 or 3 years ago when the whole kind of ski goggle trend was in. That was a weird old time when that was a trend. But at the front of this charity shop, they also had a little like almost like vintage section, or it was a section for all of like their best items. There's some really nice things in this rail. They also had some of the Badger jumpers. I literally have no clue how to say it, but they had a couple of them. This is what they look like in more detail retail. I didn't really show you that well once again. Bit of a running theme for this episode, me not showing you stuff very well, so my bad. But they also had a massive rail of just like Levi jeans. There were a variety of conditions, sizes, and ages to these Levi jeans, but they weren't going to be worth picking up because the majority of them were absolutely massive sizes, and as well, a lot of them looked heavily worn. But I then headed probably about 2 shops down to this Martlet's charity shop. Don't think we've ever been in a Martlet's charity shop before. I've never even heard of one of them. The first interesting thing that I found in here was this Somerset Sheriff polo shirt thing. I can't exactly remember what it was, but I feel like it was some form of tour guide t-shirt or something like that. It was weird, whatever it was. But unfortunately, that was the first and the last interesting thing for this charity shop. There was nothing really else to in here. So I headed across the road to this Age UK charity shop, which once again was absolutely barren. So I headed 2 or 3 doors down to this Scope charity shop, and you know what I'm like with Scope charity shops. I get so gassed, and I was so excited for this one. That excitement soon left when I found out there was only one rail of men's clothes. One rail. And on that rail, there was pretty much nothing. It was just like shirts and a couple of pair of jeans. So I just headed out of here. But I then headed pretty much over to the other side of town, almost into this cancer research charity shop. And there were some pretty decent things in here, but the highlight of this charity shop for me was this Wayne Rooney t-shirt, which said White Pele on it. I thought that was really funny. They also had this NFL Vancouver t-shirt, which was quite nice. But apart from that, there was nothing really too else in this charity shop. So I headed out of there and tried to head to the Oxfam charity shop, which you could just see in the distance, kind of in the center of the screen. But when I got over there, I found out that it was shut. It should have really been a blatant giveaway that it was shut, that the shutter was halfway down, but for some reason I just didn't clock. I don't know why or how. I didn't realize. I was so disappointed because this charity shop looked so big. But not to worry, because a little bit further on was another charity shop, which was this Dogs Trust charity shop. This charity shop was really nice, and I think it was a bit more of like a tailored almost charity shop. They didn't seem to have put everything out that they'd been given. If they did, it looks like they only get given pretty premium stock. But even though the stock was really premium, there was nothing really to shout about. There's a couple of bits of Ralph Lauren in here, like a couple of shirts and just a couple high quality jumpers and hoodies, but nothing really too interesting. They're all just blanks. But I then once again headed pretty much back over to the other side of town because I had forgot this charity shop. But it was a good thing I did end up going back to this charity shop because there was quite a lot of stuff in here. But when I headed inside, I went straight over to the t-shirts and I started going through, and once again they had quite a lot of graphic t-shirts in here. I really like this Sussex Jam one. Don't know why. I thought it was interesting. It stood out a little bit. I also really like this t-shirt that had this dinosaur on it. I'm not going to try and butcher whatever that first word says, but I thought it was quite interesting. It was a cool print. But I then went round to the rest of the stuff in this charity shop, had a little flick through, and I could not find anything else interesting. Well, I forgot to film an outro again, but I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and I really do hope to see you in another one of my videos.